Brilliance Audio presents Masked by Angel Payne, performed by Aiden Snow. It was going to be a breathtaking fall sunset in Red Rock Canyon. The birds still sang in a cloudless sky. Awakened by recent rains, the wind was still redolent with desert lilies, poppies, agave, and cholla blossoms. The air was cool but not cold. On a ranch in the valley below, a band played Can't Help Falling in Love for the crowd at a wedding reception in full swing. Appropriate, given that the lights of the Las Vegas Strip had just started to glitter in the distance. Good night to be alive, but an even better one to be dead, I reckon. Dan Colton glanced toward the source of the comment. His buddy, Special Ops Master Sergeant Tate Bomber, added a cheerful whistle to it while sharpening a wicked battle knife. The last rays of the day's sun glinted off the steel as Bomber checked the blade, flashing the dying rays of the sun into the eyes of the man who was bound and gagged in the dirt at their feet. Dan grunted. Wouldn't know the difference. Tate nodded. Though he added a quick frown, he kept the expression to himself. Dan didn't need the guy's goddamn empathy, pity, attempt at understanding, or whatever the fuck they wanted to call it. His face was a freak show. End of discussion. He refused to process anything further than that. Didn't want to rehash the mission in which he'd selflessly saved a woman's life in a fire that should have killed her and him. Didn't want to talk about the months of burn therapy that made him wish he really had died. Or the face that caused most people to think he was already half a corpse. Best to just keep putting one foot in front of the other, and looking forward to moments like this. The sole advantage to being half Freddy Krueger was that a guy could go anywhere he wanted, and do even more. Eyeballs on the guest roster at a Mexican Riviera resort known for its high security? No problem. The Ken doll side of his face flashed at the right angle, charmed the front desk agent enough to turn it over. Getting past the guards at Cameron Stock's suite, presto magico. Out came the burned monster, long enough to remind the assholes what they'd look like as worm food, allowing him to slip in with two hired goons and make off with Stock before anyone noticed. By the time Stock's henchmen realized their boss was gone, Dan had the asswad drugged, tied, and loaded onto a private transport helo, charted for a direct flight here. The timing was advantageous. Tate was already out in the canyon, playing best man at his brother Shay's wedding at Spring Mountain Ranch. Dan threw a stare over at the lights of the celebration, where the Elvis tune was followed by the cha-cha slide. He imagined the faces of so many friends in that glow, happy and smiling, and very relieved they didn't have to look at him. The burned husk serving as a reminder of the off-books operation that had nearly killed them all. Due in part to the man now whimpering at Tate's feet. You ready to do this, Spook Man? Dan bristled. The nickname irked. He hadn't been a real spook for a while. Though he was still on the CIA's payroll, his indefinite medical leave wouldn't be lifted until he received clearance from one of their approved head shrinks. And he'd be damned if anyone was going to crack open his psyche for a guided tour anytime soon. Nevertheless, he let the label slide. There was more important work to focus on. You know it, he uttered back. Music to my ears. Tate chuckled while watching Stock's eyes widen before the man trickled a scream past the edges of a dirty cloth gag. But that doesn't suck either, Stock. You sing all you want, because I've been waiting a long damn time for this, namely from the moment I had to bury the woman I loved thanks to your terrorism. He ran the knife over the sharpening stone again.